Hello, welcome to the NASDAQ market site in Times Square. I'm Jane King, and with me today we've got Leo Gestetner, the CEO of Zenvoy, and also Arthur Bavalis, the CEO of Family Office Insights. So welcome.
Thank you.
So why don't we start with you, Leo? Just tell me a little bit about Zenvoy. Kind of give me the headline of what the company's all about.
Thank you. Zenvoy is an online networking platform. So we work with associations, trade publications, universities, really any large group of people to create private networks, AI-driven, focused on creating engagement within those organizations, helping with introductions, discussion forums, news feeds, and really powering the member engagement within all of those organizations.
Okay, now I want to talk a little bit more about that in a second, but this is not your first company. You've got quite a track record in entrepreneurship, right? So bring me up to date. Like, what all have you done in terms of startups and businesses?
Thank you. I started 30 odd years ago. I've created a few technology businesses, including an internet business in the first boom, 98 to 2001.
Oh yeah.
Then spent 15 odd years buying and building branded products companies. So had a mixture across swimming brands, lingerie, handbags, and then been back in the tech industry for the last 5 or 6 years, and the last 4 or 5 years focused on building Zenvoy.
Okay, and then one more question, then we'll get to Arthur. But so Zenvoy basically introduces different communities to each other, like people who might have interest in the same news or networking events. So is my understanding it right, exactly what the company does?
So it's people within a community.
Okay.
So the graduates of a business school, for example, giving them a chance to get to know each other, to share business. It could be within an association. It could be introducing lawyers or lawyers and private equity groups. It also can be within large corporates for them to share best practices. We've got a couple of very large corporates that use it to share best practices across the organization. So it can be any method really where people want to get to know each other who wouldn't meet traditionally face-to-face.
Interesting. Okay. And Arthur, you are introducing Zenvoy to your group of family offices. So talk about why you think this is a good introduction and a company that's ready for investment.
So thanks, Jane. The preponderance of the companies that we introduce to the community, we think that they'll have a keen interest in potentially investing in them, but it also is an opportunity for them to see entrepreneurs that have either built businesses or about to build an interesting business. And honestly, there's a very, very big cohort of the 800 family offices that are in Family Office Insights that are interested in technology-driven companies, not just for the sake of technology, but actually to execute it in a way that's interesting. And in complete transparency, Zenvoy has a potential application with our little community.
Well, sure, I was
right?
going to say you would fit with this concept as well.
Just imagine if, you know, this may not be an appropriate example, but I think that it is, that within LinkedIn, if you have groups within LinkedIn, those are close communities rather than open to everybody else. Imagine if you had a community of 800 family offices like we do, and you could cross-pollinate the interests of those 800 family offices in not only a efficient way, but using AI and levels of interest so they can automatically connect with each other. So we're barraged with a lot of information from everywhere, and narrowing that fire hose is really important. So being able to connect people in a way that they can execute on their interests is really valuable.
Okay. Now, did you also want to ask Leo a couple questions?
Well, I think the people are familiar. I used the LinkedIn groups example. I mean, how does this compare to the ecosystem within LinkedIn that people are trying to concentrate in their specific interests within groups?
Yeah, thank you. I think at a core, so LinkedIn is an open network. It's really more of the core of it. So Zenvoy each network is a standalone network. So completely closed just for the members of that association or that group. And within that, they get a chance to share best practices, ask questions that they may not ask in an open forum. And also you'll get an opt-in much higher percentage than you would in a group where it's open and searchable. Because in Zenvoy, it is non-searchable. The AI engine is working out who they should be meeting. So they're actually much more likely to get a good quality introduction without being flooded by the bad quality requests that you would get in a typical.
Yeah, well, and I get a lot of like sales pitches on LinkedIn. So is that something you would not have on Zenvoy, or?
Any sales pitches on Zenvoy would be very curated.
Okay, I got it. Yeah, and
Everyone's got to make some money somewhere, but
well,
it's not.
that's what I was going to ask. How do you make money?
So we make money through two different revenue models. One revenue model is software as a service. So some groups say to us that they want to have complete control of the platform, and they don't want any sponsorship within that platform. So for that kind of group, they would pay us software as a service. Other groups work on a partnership basis, where there are sponsors within the platform that are appropriate for that platform and those users.
Okay.
So it's not just general sponsorship, but so those are the two models.
Okay, two ways to make money. Okay, anything else, Arthur, that you want to ask Leo?
I think it might be, if it's okay with you, talk about sort of traction, the types of groups that have been engaged so far, the typical target that would be a good use case for the software.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. We've got a whole mixture of groups. We are relatively young, but growing fast. We have a mixture of associations. We have a number of associations. We have universities, mainly the business school of universities. We have a number of large networking groups. So we've got a number of multi-million person groups that are, one is a C-suite group, another one is a much more general networking group. So we have a mixture of those sort of very large groups that are more on the general networking side, and then we have very specific that would be within a university, that would be within an association. Trade publishers is another areas that we're doing more and more work as well.
So let's say that I would want to get on my alma mater's group. Like, how do I do that? I go on, do I have to be invited? I mean, how does it all work?
So our typical group, and we do have groups that can be open, but our typical group is a closed group that you have to be invited to.
Okay.
So a specific university will sign a contract with us and will then invite all of their alumni to join that group.
I see.
So the beauty of that is they actively promote that as well. Because it's a dedicated group just for them and under their name, it means that they actually actively promote that as part of all of their communications going out to their alumni.
Well, and that's kind of interesting because that reduces your marketing costs as well, right?
Yeah, we actually have a very low marketing cost. So individual users, we don't need to market to at all. Our only marketing really is trade marketing to the large groups. But even that, the beauty is a lot of our communities are very much, they come to us. And what we get is, once we have that community, there's the only marketing really is a cost of sending emails.
That's just it, right? Yeah, which is nothing,
yeah,
basically. Yeah.
So they fully integrate it. The right groups for us fully integrate it into their marketing. So literally whether they're sending out a paper newsletter to their alumni or they're sending out to their association members their weekly newsletter, whatever it is, they fully integrate this community because it's their community.
Okay. And then how can somebody find out more about the company?
So on zenvoy.com,
Okay.
we have information. You can request more. You can sign up for demos. And yeah, we've got detailed information from zenvoy.com.
Okay. Arthur, anything else you'd like to add?
Only that I think it's instructive, once somebody's in this university example, what is it that they experience that's really interesting that they wouldn't experience in other, because there's other communities, right?
Very fair question. So really we have, at the core of what we do is an AI-driven introduction system. So we are being proactive so the member doesn't need to be. So we are pushing out weekly, bi-weekly, monthly introductions, highly curated introductions to those members. And then on top of that, if they log into the system, they can interact with their network, they can post within our community billboards, they can ask the experts. So we have Ask the Experts, anonymous, you can post anonymous questions. We have news feeds we're just launching where you get very curated news feeds, which the AI engine is working out both what you want to see and learning from that what makes better and better introductions for you. So the system continues to learn. It takes somebody maybe 2 minutes, maximum 3 minutes, to initially onboard to our system, but every time you interact with it, it's learning and the introductions are getting better and better over time.
It's amazing what artificial intelligence can do.
Yeah.
It really is. So, okay, thank you so much, Leo, for joining us and telling us the story. Zenvoy.com.
Yes.
So we will check it out. And thank you, Arthur, as always, for
Thank you.
coming and
Thank you, Jane, for
introducing
having
us. So, and thank you as well for joining us. I'm Jane King at the NASDAQ Market Site. Have a great day.